What a game!
Wow.
Hello, viewers. You are welcome to First 11, our YouTube channel for analyzing football matches. We preview football matches and we also give a post match analysis updates. Today, we'll be talking about the match between Arsenal and PSG. And we'll also be talking about the match between Barcelona and Inter Milan, one that was played yesterday in Barcelona. Firstly, we'll start with the match between Arsenal and PSG. Arsenal, the first leg of the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal, they were playing at home. So, with me at the other end is Kenny. Kenny, what's your take on day before yesterday's game, Arsenal versus PSG?
Wow. What a wonderful match of football. So thank you once again, viewers, for tuning into our YouTube channel. That Arsenal Paris Saint-Germain game largely went against the predictions of many analysts. Many analysts predicted Arsenal going by their games against Real Madrid. So they thought Arsenal was going to have it very easy against Paris Saint-Germain. But Paris Saint-Germain, with their younger players moving away from the Galactico era, they were able to secure a 1-0 victory. And they stuck to their game plan, which was they overloaded that area where they know Bukayo Saka was a very big threat. So they made sure that it was limited in terms of getting supplies. And immediately they got their chance. They took it. Dembele, who is in the form of his life, he got that 1-0 victory.
In the second leg, we will see what happens. So, can you help us to review the matches? We want a detailed analysis of what actually happened between Arsenal and PSG. That in that game,
So
a lot of pundits actually expected Arsenal to have won that game, but unfortunately, it didn't go well as planned. So, what do you think went wrong for the Arsenal team?
So coming into the game, we know both coaches, that's Luis Enrique and Mikel Arteta. They favor a 4-3-3 setup. So mostly the game was fought in the midfield. And now with the suspended Thomas Partey, we're not able to gain control of that midfield. So it was pretty difficult for Arsenal. And Declan Rice was not, and as well as Martin Odegaard, they were not on top of their game. So what we saw was PSG with their nimble midfielders gaining control of that midfield, and then they were able to win that battle in the midfield. And Kvaratskhelia and Dembele, as well as Desiree Du, we saw younger guys who were very much in form. And at the end
Yes,
of the day, their quality shown. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes. I think one of the lapses in the Arsenal midfield was the absence of
Thomas Partey,
Arsenal actually missed Thomas Partey in that game. His absence was
yes,
felt in that game against PSG.
very,
And
very, very
Odegaard
much.
was not informed in that game, unlike Odegaard. Odegaard usually busts the midfield, but on Tuesday, he was just a shadow of himself, and the coach
It
had
was
to
a shadow of
take him
himself.
out. The coach had to take him out at the last minute. I think the coach did not make a decision early enough in that game. So PSG, they took
Exactly.
everyone by surprise. But another thing that I think a lot of persons, they gave Arsenal all the advantage over PSG because of the way they defeated Real Madrid
Madrid.
home and away. And please, let's not forget that currently Real Madrid, they are not in a good form right now. They are not
At
in
all.
a very good form. We saw what they played against Barcelona. So coming back to that game against PSG, I think that you saw the way PSG they overpowered Arsenal right there in their
Yeah.
own backyard. Ball possession,
Yeah.
they had more ball possession. They had 51% total attempts. They had 11 against 10 attack corners. They had 86, 85. They dominated the game against
And
Arsenal. And let's not
in terms
forget
of
that Donnarumma also
wow,
helped. Yes, also
wow.
helped PSG. For me, I think that Donnarumma is the best goalkeeper in this year's Champions League. That
Without a
is
doubt,
that is a fact. Yes,
without a doubt,
yes,
without
he's
a
the
doubt.
best goalkeeper. Yes, he saved 5 clear-cut chances in that game. So I don't know how Arsenal how
They have a very
this
they have a big mountain to climb. They have a very
mm,
big mountain to climb in Paris next week.
it's going to be a
So
very
it's going to
tough
be tough. But
match
with the coming
in
back of
Madrid.
Thomas Partey, just maybe we'll have a contest. just maybe.
But don't forget PSG, their midfield is rock solid. Yes, you have Vitinha, you have
Neves,
Neves, and you have Ruiz.
you know,
They are very solid
yeah,
in that midfield, and they are very good with the ball. You see the way they play
yeah,
with the ball, and everyone is falling in love with their pattern of play. They are not in a hurry. They hold the ball. They want to have more ball possessions. They want to dominate the game from the midfield. I think they are good, if you ask me. I think they are very good because the way
they
the whole
are,
thing is
and they
going
are,
now, I'm a
they
bit
are, and
scared
the scary
if
thing,
we are going to
the
qualify for
scary
the
thing,
finals of this year's Champions League. I'm very scared because I know it's halftime. So second half, I just
yeah,
hope that we come out good in the second half. Quickly, we will look at yesterday's game.
second,
Yesterday's game was
a
a thriller.
blockbuster.
Using the word a thriller is another statement. It was a blockbuster. That game is one of
Wow,
the best games that I've watched this season. It has
it
all
was
the
it
thrill, all the excitement.
the game was a good advertisement for football.
Exactly.
What we
Yeah,
saw last
yeah.
night was Lamine
Exactly.
Yamal,
Exactly. Wow. The 17-year-old
17-year-old
prodigy. We all saw
golden
what he
boy.
did. Yeah, he's a
We
golden
saw
boy.
what,
A lot of analysts, they've been analyzing Lamine Yamal. They've been trying to compare Lamine Yamal with Lionel Messi at same age. That at 17,
17,
Lionel Messi was yet to make this impact that he's currently exhibiting in
making.
this year's Champions League. And they also compared 100 matches played at age 20. Messi had played 100 games at age 20. Then at age 17, in yesterday's game, he just completed his 100 games. And
55.
I will read out the comparison. Lionel Messi at 20 for Barcelona. He played 100 games. He had 34 goals and 20 assists. While Lamine
Wow.
Yamal, same 100 games, but at age 17, he
Yeah.
had 22 goals and 33 assists. At
That's,
17,
he has
Lionel
55
Messi has
goals.
not even scored up to 10 goals.
Wow. What a future this
So
boy
we
has in the game.
also what Lamine Yamal did in that game. He turned the DiMarco to something else.
A
He threw
world-class
DiMarco out of the
defender.
pitch. He threw DiMarco out
Yeah.
of the pitch. The coach immediately brought
In
out
fact,
DiMarco from the pitch.
DiMarco was lucky to have a lot of defenders trying to cover for
DiMarco
him.
was
So we saw a game at the
yes,
we saw
the
a
match
3-3 game
ended.
at the camp. The
Yes,
last
it
goal
was an
that
ups.
Behar,
Yes, the last goal by Inter Milan was an offside. His
a
toe,
very yeah,
Mkhitaryan toe, was anyway marginally. Yes, it was an
you
offside
know,
goal. It was an offside goal. I told you that the way Barcelona, the way they are playing, it will put them into trouble using high line. By the time they meet a
yeah,
team that is tactically strong, and we saw what happened yesterday,
yeah.
Inter Milan, they had already planned
They broke
how they were
offside
going
traps.
to dismantle that arrangement. You saw what they did. They kept on breaking
Yeah,
that offside trap because you cannot be
offside
setting
traps.
offside trap in the
Yeah,
middle of the pitch. This is their problem. Their defense is just like a piece of paper, and their goalkeeper is
yeah.
nothing to write home about. Chesney is nothing to write home about.
He just,
Not one single save. He couldn't make one single save throughout the
yeah,
game.
he was
And
flat yesterday. He was off form.
someone made 8 saves, 8 clear-cut chances.
Wow.
He saved them.
I think in the second half,
Yes, you want to say something?
yes, I wanted to say that I think in the second leg, Hansi Flick will have to be very skeptical about his arrangement in terms of offside, setting up the team for offside traps. Because as we can see from the evidence of what we saw yesterday, Inter Milan, they keep looking for how to break that arrangement. And they were able to secure 3 goals. So what we are going to see in the second
Yeah,
leg at the San Siro is going to be a different ball game. Inter Milan could surprise us
it's
once
going to
again
be a different.
if care is not taken.
It's going to be a different ball game. Based on yesterday's game, Inter Milan, they surprised me. We did not give them the chance to qualify from this round. Based on the three losses in three
Yeah,
consecutive games that they've played, we'd never expected that they would come up with this sort of game plan. I think Inter Milan,
yeah.
they did not prioritize the Coppa Italia and the Scudetto. They are prioritizing this
They have
Champions
their
League
mind.
ahead of
Yes.
those 2 games. Yes, because they play like the Inter Milan that I knew. So I was really surprised. I said, yeah, this is the Inter Milan team that I know that they really want to play. And it was all unfortunate that Lautaro Martinez, I think, is not very fit. If it was a fit Lautaro Martinez that was on that pitch, it would have been a different ball game entirely, because he has eyes for goals. There was excitement, there was entertainment. So that match had all the excitement and everything you can wish for in a football game. It was a clear advertisement for football yesterday. Dumfries, his impact in that game, I feel that it's not been well talked
about
compared to what Lamar did. We all know that, yes, Lamar put up a spectacle in that game, but Dumfries, he was the man of the match. And it's not really being talked about. Nobody is talking about Dumfries. The guy, he put up nice performance in yesterday's game by scoring two difficult goals. And if you watch very well, you saw the way he was running up and down.
And also assisted one.
He also assisted, yes. He deserved the man of the match, if you ask me. Yes.
It was the one.
If Lamine Yamal had scored that goal where he threw Jimanko out of the pitch, if he had scored that goal that hit the bar, I would have given Lamine Yamal the man of the match, clearly, because he was clearly standing. It was more like a theater. When you're in a theater and the light is beamed on you, that was what happened yesterday. The light was just on Lamine Yamal. You understand?
Wow.
He did a fantastic
and he scored one and hit the bar two times in the game.
Yes, up to 2 or 3 times his ball hit the bar. And I think such talent needs to be protected, yes, so that the game of football can be preserved, because I've been concerned about the robotic way in which football is being played of late. And I think this form of robotic football, was initiated by Pep Guardiola. Yesterday, we saw the two teams, they were not afraid to play football. They came out to play ball. They came out to play football. And this is what has been lacking for a very long time in UEFA and FIFA organized football competition. We don't get to see the trees anymore. We don't get to see the dribbles. It just passes and we're just looking for goals. This is the entertainment in football that we are talking about. It was a nice spectacle yesterday.
Very nice. So we expect something brilliant in the second leg.
Of course. Thank you for watching. So please follow our YouTube channel.